Going to call this meeting to order, and we do have a quorum. And at this time, we'll have approval of minutes of 10/26/15 Forestry Board meeting. Do you want to look at this a little bit, and then we will continue on?
If they'd have a chance to look at them.
Did you?
They
were on the computer, right?
Yes.
I didn't. My computer's not working, so. Okay.
I make the motion the minutes be approved as documented.
Okay.
I'll second.
And Diane has seconded. So we have a motion for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Our next thing is update on renewal of the Tree City application. Nancy, do you want to tell them briefly what you did? And
It was due the 31st of December, which I got it in on time. The state application was done over the online. Got that done, and then there was another section of it about the Tree City application itself. I had to mail it in because I couldn't get it to do online, so they were both in on time. So I haven't heard anything. Sure I would have if I hadn't. I hadn't heard anything from Mark.
well, I think it's probably good since you've done it before, so you know.
Well, actually, I hadn't.
You had?
I hadn't. I did it for 14, but only after Mark told me that it had not been done, and he kind of walked me through it.
Good.
Before that, Betsy had done.
Okay. So how many cities in Oklahoma have that designation, do you know?
Oh, not off the top of my head, but there's a number of them because we go to that Arbor Day thing every year, have for the last 3 or 4 years, longer.
Mm-hmm.
Longer than that.
Yeah, you have longer.
We've gone about the last 6 or 8 years.
It's
Something
been
like
about like
Are you talking about the event that's at the Capitol?
Mhm.
Okay.
that. Yes.
And so the only people invited are the Tree City
I
designees?
believe so.
Pretty much.
I
or-
believe so.
I think they can come.
I think they can, yeah. I'm not sure exactly how that all works, but it's really good, and it's always very informative. The people that speak always have a lot of good things to say, and you learn something every time you go.
That's true. That's really good. Mhm.
Yeah, we always enjoy it.
And you get opportunity to see them either put a tree in the ground or go see one or something. There's always one thing outside,
Yes.
and it's nice to go to. Okay, our next thing is discussion of inventorying the oldest and/or at-risk trees in the city. There's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot at risk after
Yes.
the ice storm and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we had briefly talked about an inventory at our last meeting, but obviously we wouldn't want to do any kind of inventory when it's freezing cold outside. So the issue got pushed, but I still think that. When did you say the last time you had done an inventory was?
I think it was 99.
99.
99 or 2000.
And how extensive of a project is that? What is the time frame and how many people does it take?
I don't know how long the time frame was.
I think we had a grant to do that.
Right.
And so we'll have to
Interesting.
search and see if there's a grant, because it's costly.
Because it gave us the condition of every tree.
Well, I just had a thought about that, you know, if we were just trying to take a, not a cross section, but just a sampling that maybe we could put something in the water bills that we are trying to find the oldest or largest of the
Trees.
types of trees that are in Guthrie proper, and ask homeowners or landowners if they consider their tree that might be in that genre to submit it. And then that kind of narrows it down, because we're after the unique ones. We're not winding it, and that would have somebody else kind of do the work, because if somebody had a huge tree of any type, first of all, they'd likely be proud of it. Secondly, they would more than likely know the name, but if they didn't, then they would say, well, this is my opportunity to find out what variety of tree I do have and stuff. So I just thought that might be a way to make the city more aware, or people in the city more aware, that there is a forestry board. And
That would be I think that's a really
I
good
think that's a good
suggestion,
idea.
but I think to take it a step further, you should take it before the council. But because if we want to put it in the water bills, then I think you should take a presentation or something before the council, and that would get it out there a little bit.
So you're just talking about putting an announcement in the announcement sheet when we get the utilities bill?
right, and then
To-
we could kind of flesh this out a little bit, whether we had some plaques, or whether, you know, the top 3 of each variety that, you know, that we determined were the largest or the oldest or the most unique, or, you know, some way to narrow it down. But it would give notice of those trees that are landmarks.
Yeah.
You know, almost like the one in front of the post office is almost a landmark, how
Right.
great it
Yeah.
looked when it
This
was
one right here.
decorated and stuff. And I remember when they made the drugstore, the Heritage Garden, what's the correct name for it?
This
The
apothecary.
Apothecary Garden. But even though it's not huge, they said that live oak was a pretty
It is.
significant
It is.
live ook
Right.
that's there,
And-
you know, for our area.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be anything in South Texas, but here in
No, but
Guthrie it is.
I love that tree because from where I come from, they're plentiful,
Yeah.
but they're not up here.
Well, and I
So-
think Marquise really wanted to save that tree
Yeah.
and got an harvester in.
Yeah,
And
Well,
really
we
take care
have
of
a number of trees like that. The
Mhm.
tree that Bothroyd's took care of over there
Yes.
on.
I talked to him about that.
Did you?
Yeah,
Did you
and
help
he
him?
has it all trimmed
Yes,
up and everything.
I heard he had. I hadn't been
Yeah.
over there to see it, but
Yeah.
it's a huge tree.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you all have noticed the tree out here on off Noble, since they removed a lot of it's behind that house that has just the plywood on it. It's going to come down. It sits on the south side next to that blue house. You look at that tree in the back there. It's the most beautiful tree. Even with no leaves on it, it's gorgeous.
Well, now's actually a good time for people to do it, you know. You can kind of more see the form and more see the size of it, and
Well, this is a big tree. I hope it doesn't get removed when they're in the process.
well, there's some also where they removed those 2 rock houses. They were almost the first things. There's some beautiful specimen trees
Yes.
there, and I was thinking the same thing, but obviously they're going to be left, so.
Oh, I'm hoping this one will be left. It's so big.
Well, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think that is a really great idea and not nearly as big of a task as an inventory. However, I think we should do it that way. But I still would like to know if we have a copy of the old grant.
Yes.
Because if we did, then I could at least research it and see if that grant still exists.
I
And then
can-
maybe as we're approaching the 20 years since our last inventory, I don't know how frequently they get done, but 20 years sounds like a nice round number. It might be
Yes.
time to try to do another one.
That's
So
true.
maybe not this year, but approaching in the coming years, we
Okay.
could try to figure out
I
how to
think
do it
that's a good
again.
idea. I don't know if that bid will still be there. It's possible. I can find the bid number. I'm not sure if I can find the bid packet, but we'll take a look and see.
Michael, can you and I maybe work something out and go to the council
Okay.
and talk
And-
to them and try to see if we can
And,
get some
and we'll
legal.
talk about it, and then we'll have you maybe formalize it in kind of a request, since
Yeah.
you're our,
Well, you let me know how you want it
And
done,
then-
and I will get with Bruce and find out when he would like it to be on the agenda.
okay,
So we can all be on the same page.
okay.
And let us
I
know.
know there's blues traveling the earth here, and Guthrie has a few in mind that we for sure, that are on city property that,
I thought, when the newspaper was taking in the fall, the beautiful trees, and that was some nice pictures in the paper.
Mhm.
And that may be something else that we can push for fall.
mhm,
That'd be good too.
Have
Yes.
something now and something later,
mhm, mhm.
and get people involved.
Yeah, it could almost be more of an involvement thing, that the prettiest trees or something, in the fall, obviously. But you can really see the stature of these trees now without their
Right.
leaves. And,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Well, and we had a lot of them on the ice too that broke limbs
Mhm.
out,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are hanging down like this. So,
Well, it would have been a whole lot worse if OG&E hadn't come through a couple of years ago and done their.
Well, yeah, and the city really did a good job of cleaning them all up, because
Thank you.
that's a big deal to clean up that much damage and.
Yes, it
Oh,
was
wow.
a big deal.
Mhm.
I wonder how many we lost. I lost 2 on my property and I only have a half an acre, so.
We lost 2, I think. We had some that were damaged pretty good, and we had to do some trimming, but I think we only lost 2.
that was the way I had a lot of limbs out of 3, and they were damaged pretty good, but they're still gonna be there.
Mhm.
And then a lot of limbs on the east side too, so it was pretty good with that ice.
Yeah.
It was clacking all the time, and I couldn't figure out what it was at first. Okay, so want to get together then with you, you're gonna talk with Bruce, and we're gonna work on it too.
What's your work schedule, Diane?
Monday through Friday, 8 to 5.
Okay, I just thought maybe that it might almost, if we could meet sometime here to do it all, that might be good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we have to do
I
it
have a
before
lunch
the
break every
council.
day.
But I mean, to gather our
Okay.
information and to prepare our presentation.
Because I think we should already have prepared the verbiage that we would like
Yes.
to have
Yeah.
put in the newsletter.
Yeah,
So just to,
And if we can't seem to get it here, you can come out to my place. We've got a nice table.
Yeah, you do have.
well, and I've got a great place at the courthouse too. I have a whole room, so.
okay.
So we got the space.
Well-
It should be
We
noticed.
have lots of space that we can sit and talk.
That's good.
Okay, so we have got that taken care of. Now, along with setting up with Fogarty School an Arbor Day contest to name and put plaque of some of the trees, are we gonna do that or do poster?
Well, the poster contest is something that had been done in previous years at St. Mary's. And so what I had wanted to do was do something for the public school at Fogarty. And so I thought that if we but then it was in connection with doing an inventory and us finding our oldest or biggest or most unique trees. But this idea is way better. And so I think that the idea could shift to, you know, whoever responds and gives us some of their, you know, pictures of their trees or whatever, that we could still just kind of submit those to the students at Fogarty and have a, you know, a contest, name that tree.
Yeah.
Or to draw their impression of
Or
that
draw their
tree,
impression
or
of
draw it
that.
as a home for, you know, all different things.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I think, yeah, then are you thinking about doing posters with it on that, or just,
Well, yeah, I mean, it could be this one and the same. It could be draw your impression of that tree and name it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then we could put that uptown and get it out for the public.
And it could be both schools.
Sure.
We
St. Mary's
want
and-
St. Mary's is,
Oh, yeah,
Have
of
you
Or
course.
even
guys-
give them different assignments.
yeah, give them different,
Yeah.
yeah.
We could give them different trees. The
Yeah.
number of trees we have, we could split it in half. We'll send half to Fogarty and the other half to St. Mary's, and they can send them back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and we had talked about the Arbor Day celebration for Guthrie on April the 26th. So that's gonna come kinda quick if we don't
Yeah.
start planning now.
And 89ers is Arbor Day celebrated on on the 26th, what day of the week? Is that Friday?
I think it was a Thursday or Friday. I know we talked about it.
It probably is Friday. Probably 89ers is that weekend before.
I wasn't sure what weekend it was, okay. March, April.
April 26th.
April 26th is on a Tuesday.
Oh, well, okay.
But 89ers should be over with by then.
Yeah, April the 22nd is the Friday before then,
Okay.
so.
So that give us time to get ours going.
I'm thinking that let's see, the next city council meeting is,
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Hello, Mr. Ellis, you may not recognize me.
I
Sorry.
didn't, I do now.
I know, everybody's like, who's the guy walking in here? I apologize.
you met Randy?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I didn't look like this ever before.
He had the beard and long hair.
I was
Looked
a
like
Santa Claus. I was Santa Claus.
Oh,
So
At
now,
the last meeting?
yeah, no, I missed
No.
the last meeting. I was here for the first one. Yeah, here I am. Yeah, if you was alive at Christmas, you
I
saw
went
me.
off and left y'all's thank yous. For those of you that weren't at the meeting the other night, you got yours. But I have one for you and one for you.
And Randy was there.
And Randy, well, Randy was there too,
Yeah,
yes. So I've got your thank you candle and the key.
oh, thank you.
I was there. I have my candle.
You have your candle? I
I
was
got
thinking you were there, so
I
it's
was
just
there.
you
Okay.
and Tim, you and
All right.
Tim. I knew
There
I
was
had two
four
of them.
of us there,
Yeah.
so it was
Okay, yeah,
Good
yeah,
family.
you well represented. I was thinking you were there.
Yeah. I had my kids
Your
with me.
children were there, they're sweet little, yeah, they're sweet children.
They're a mess.
okay, so that 26th of April will be okay then.
Yes,
Okay.
So, what are we doing with the tree bank giveaway?
Now, that's a different story again.
Oh.
This is
Okay, I
for
got confused.
Arbor in April. The tree
The
giveaway.
National Arbor Day.
Oh.
You know, National Arbor Day is one day, and then we have the option of using that day or pick our own day.
And the 26th of April is a good time because it's a little warmer.
Yeah.
I've stood there when it was cold. And it's not
So we're celebrating Guthrie's Arbor Day on April 26th. Is that what that means?
Well, and since we are likely to have Fogarty involved, and then maybe St. Mary's as well.
Yeah, we
And
have.
Fogarty has done some landscaping in front of the school and
Yeah.
And so it'd be a good opportunity on that Arbor Day to plant a tree at each
At each school.
at each school. And you know, I'd be happy to donate the trees that we plant, so.
And if we get our announcement in the utility flyer for the month of February, when's the next council meeting?
The next council meeting is the
They have it every other Tuesday?
first, no, it's not every other.
It's just monthly, huh?
No, it's every first and third, let me tell you what day it is. It will be the 2nd of February. And then the 16th will be the second
So this coming Tuesday,
week.
It's February 2nd.
A week from today.
yes.
Yeah,
week
we
from
can
today.
today.
And then the 16th is the next one, if we can't get it on that one.
Because I think if we could get it in there, that would be enough time that on those same days that we do the tree planting, we could announce the winner of
Okay.
our
yeah,
competition.
Of our competition. So,
We need to make a time frame for the posters so
Right.
that they can be up when Arbor Day here was.
Right, and this actually would work out perfectly because their testing and all that other kind of stuff happens, towards then, and then they're out in May. So,
And they like to have their posters back, which we did get them there this year.
okay.
And we talked about grades 1 through 4. So,
Well, Forestry is only second and third grade.
okay,
oh, that's fine.
we could do that
That'll work.
for both schools. Okay, the next thing, then we've got that pretty much settled what we're gonna do.
I'll talk with, I don't know anybody at St. Mary's, but I'm more than happy to just call.
He does.
You do?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. They'd be real happy to have us do whatever, because I think we've 3 years in a row now we've done something there.
And we had children last year from 3 to 6
Yeah.
that made posters, and we put them down here in the street there at City Hall here. And
Yeah, down in the lobby, we have,
Yeah.
it's really neat.
I think I remember seeing them.
Did you remember that we were going to do a $5 thing today for our trees?
Well, bring a check. I'll look for a check.
Give it to her.
Yeah.
I didn't, that was for the board members. though.
Yes. Mhm. So that we could have our name in and hopefully help us to get some trees.
Well, I intend to make sure that we're at least on the list some way. I'm gonna call the lady that I know. I don't know her, but I've been in contact with her, put it that way. Find out what we need to do. Last time
What
we.
would grease the skids?
Yes. So, if it takes donating, I'll even donate some. I have in the past, so.
Well, we're going to try everything we can to get people in,
Yeah.
because I know people here want trees.
And the last time we did it, we also took up a collection for donations.
I think we
And that
should.
went over well, too.
Well, I think if we tell them that they have to do a donation, or that we're going to ask for so much a month, not a month, but that day.
Yeah.
And I think that people might take better care of their trees,
Yeah, they might.
because you can't buy them for that.
No, you can't.
So, anyway, that's where we are on that. Our next item is discussion of upcoming term renewals.
Well, interestingly enough, none of you here are up this year, just Tim. Tim is up in June. So I'll get with him and find out if he's interested in reapplying, and if he will, he'll need to submit.
Okay. Did Zach Calerio talk to you?
Yes, but I think he's gonna remain on the park.
Okay, okay.
He sent me an email, and I think
Okay.
he's decided that he'll remain on the park
Okay.
board. So, right now, Diane and Randy are not up until next year, the 17th, and you and Roberta, the 18th, year
Okay.
18. So, we just have one this year, so just wanting to make sure we're up on those so that we don't run into the problem we did there for a while, having trouble getting
People
volunteers, yes.
Okay, the next item is staff report. Have anything on staff?
I don't have anything.
Oh, have it.
Marlene, Randy, Michael?
No, just before we adjourn though, I do wanna bring I have interacted with the people that did the major work at Mineral Wells.
Yes.
And, I asked them if they would ever consider doing it again, and haven't got a firm answer on that, but they did say a lot of good things. They were very gracious in their description of the people from the Parks Department that helped them. They said they had a good time working with Blue and some of his people, and that they were really glad that they did it. It was fun for them. And I thought of when we had the ice storm, very minimal damage, and it could have been a lot of, kind of
Lot to thank
big
him for.
devastating damage. And I told them that we had kind of, in our discussion, made an estimate appraisal that we thought that of the work that they did, between 25 and 40,000. And he said, well, you're really quite accurate on that. And it's with all the equipment and the number of people and stuff.
Yeah.
So they enjoyed it. They were glad they did it. So who knows, I'm guessing it's a little bit depends on the workload, when there's a lot of tree damage and plus a very vigorous growing season from this past year, they might all be so busy that it's like, well, we just,
And we understand that.
Yeah.
We certainly do.
but we can always, even if they did it in the fall, anytime we would be.
Right.
Right, it would be great.
So anyway.
Well, I think it's great that you're asking him.
Yeah.
If not, maybe not this year, maybe next year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I told them that, the city kind of wanted to recognize them in that, and they said, well, that isn't why we did it, we just,
Well,
But,
I knew that, but,
yeah. they could, I said, well, what if they want to recognize you anyway? And they said, well,
Give them a candle.
I would have loved to have recognized them for all that, but,
What's the name of their company?
well, it was about 5 different companies.
5 different ones, yeah.
Yeah, that all converged,
came
but it was a Daryl Baxter with Full Circle Tree Service that organized
Oh,
it.
I've heard of that company before.
Yeah, so it was really great.
Well, maybe if we get an answer quick enough, we can have some certificates or something ready
Yeah.
for them.
Or maybe if there ends up being a little bit of a news story about the tree planting and everything,
Yeah.
we could include,
That would be great.
something about the last year's event, and was that the major, and he sent me a list then of all the people that did participate, the different companies and stuff, so maybe
Did
we could
they-
just include it that way.
Did they bring their own lunch or did they go out for lunch?
We went and got a pizza.
Yeah,
We all had pizza and everything.
Yeah,
I think that would be nice if we knew it enough to get some
To
food.
provide them something,
Mhm,
yes.
and have food ready for them.
yeah. Well, I brought donuts
brought
in the
donuts and
morning
everything,
and then
and
they
juice
brought
and milk,
pizza,
yeah.
so they,
Yeah, and that could help them too, maybe
Yeah.
make them feel better.
That was great.
So,
And this happened after our last ice storm, right?
No,
No.
this
When was
happened
this?
last year.
last spring.
kind of
Just-
the
well, it was
Arbor
in
Day.
May.
Yeah,
It was in conjunction with Arbor Day.
Mhm.
Okay, that's right.
They called it a day of service.
So that was a very good program.
Mhm.
It was. Diane, do you have anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay, staff report.
We're done.
Okay, do I hear